What's the schedule for you guys this week? I mean, I know the players aren't practicing, but how about for you and the coaches?
Yeah, I told our staff to get out of here. We'll reconvene on Monday, and what's great, I guess, kind of what you learn is how easy it is to work when you're on the road after going, especially the COVID year. So everybody's got projects. We're doing a lot of self-scout, and then getting ahead on some future opponents. But you know, I think anymore we can work remotely.
I don't know if you had your left tackle getting his appendix removed on your bingo card for this year.
Did not. There's been a few things that have not anticipated, but that's what makes this league fun, you know.
How do you think Zach did in just the line as a whole?
Yeah, I thought the O-line did a nice job. Zach has, you know, been super reliable, which is really cool to see, especially a rookie going in. It was nice that we had at least a little bit of time to prepare for it. So it just, but it's unfortunate for Dave, certainly. I know he was bummed, and I think Dave's been playing some really good ball, and I think Elton's gotten better. Our line as a whole, I would say, is progressing. The continuity is always a big deal there. So, but I thought Zach went in there and did a great job.
Do you know what Bakhtiari's timetable for recovery might be?
You know, I do not. I do not. So we'll see how he feels when we come back from the bye and see where he's at. But you know, I from what I've been told, it could be a while. So we'll see where he's at.
Good feedback from Aaron on how he held up with, you know, the extra gear and getting through it a week after the shot to the ribs.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he held up pretty nicely. So, you know, he seemed to be in great spirits after the game, which is always a good sign. And, you know, just my limited interaction with him today he seemed to be doing well.
Man, I think you said last night that Aaron Jones could have gone in if you needed him. You held him out. Any concern about him after the bye?
No, I think he'll be in good shape. You know, as a matter of fact, I talked to him a little bit today, just about that scenario, and I know he's the ultimate competitor. He always wants to be in there and helping his teammates, but I mean, guys, he can take a beating now, and you know, you always get a little concerned when it's like every series he's up, he's down, he's up, he's down, and that happened a few times in the game where he was just working through, you know, getting landed on or whatever, and certainly we're a much better football team when he is on the field and he's going, you know, or as close to 100% as he can. But I thought, you know, AJ did a great job kind of picking up the slack, running behind his pads, getting downhill. PT got a few snaps in there, and the one rush he had, I thought he did a great job with that as well.
Obviously, Christian scored a lot of touchdowns for you. Does he need to get the ball more? I don't mean like forcing him the ball, but are there opportunities to get him the ball? Because he does a lot of touchdowns, but not a lot of touches.
Yeah. Then it's going to go back to Aaron Jones not getting the ball. So, no, yeah, you're always trying to, yeah, obviously you want to get your playmakers the ball, and he's done a great job when we've gotten him the ball of making some big-time plays. And so, yeah, we'll continue to look, and I think right now is a great time for us to look at different ways that you can potentially give him the ball, whether it's on those jet sweeps and what else we can build off of that. But he is an explosive player, no doubt about it. You've seen it 2 weeks in a row where he outruns everybody. So, and then he also had a big time, was that 38 yards on the pass interference? So you're talking about a few plays in this game that were just big time, meaningful plays. So certainly he's a guy that you want to give as many opportunities to as possible.
With Christian, you know, being the player he is now, and Romeo Dobbs coming back from the injury. How excited are you to get those two on the field and run this offense with both of those guys clicking?
Yeah, it'll be great. I mean, the more weapons you have, the better you feel, and the more you can, get other people involved. So I feel really good about where our receiving core is and where it's progressing to, and it'll be nice to have everybody available. I think Alan Lazard made some huge plays in the game as well. I mean, a lot of those were critical third down catches, and we all know what he does and what he means to the run game. So, having all those guys up and available will definitely help us.
Matt, Aaron said to Fox after the game that Romeo looked like he was going to play, and then he tweaked something on Friday. Is that the case? And do you feel like with the bye week that should be enough for him to be ready for the Rams finally?
Yeah, I would think that we'll get Rome back. So we worked him out in pregame. We were hopeful that he was going to be able to play a limited role. That wasn't the case. I know he's doing everything he can. He's diligent about his rehab and just the process that you got to go through to get back. And I know he's definitely eager to be back out on the field and be able to contribute. And definitely excited to hopefully get him back in the fold next game.
Aaron was saying yesterday, oftentimes over his time here, he hopes the kick returner will just take a knee or let it go if it's going into the end zone, but he says he tells Keisean to take it out every single time.
Well, no wonder why he's taking it out every single time.
Is that not what you tell him to do? But that wasn't serious.
I mean, that's kind of it's certainly Keisean's earned more opportunities to have a little bit more freedom with it. I just told him, though, if we're starting a bunch of these inside our 25-yard line, that freedom is going to get taken away. So I love how Keisean plays, though. His mentality, I mean, both on teams, as a returner, as a flyer, whatever it may be, he does a great job. And then you're starting to see, obviously, more contributions from the defensive side. So I think he's got a dog mentality, and it's infectious. He's got great energy. He prepares the right way. He's just a heck of a competitor, and certainly glad that he's on our team.
That was my actual question. Like when Rich sold him or sold you on him over the summer, is this kind of what you guys envisioned him being, what he's been for the last couple months?
Well, I would say that he's probably exceeded what my expectations were, which is always a good thing. So I think he's really done a great job, and he's got a great attitude, and he practices hard, and I think it's reflective in his play.
Is the matter of using him more on punt return just sort of a matter of getting him more reps since he hasn't done that as much?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you're saying because he didn't return. I think it's game by game. It's situation by situation.
That one backed up, you just wanted to make sure you had Randall back there to catch it.
Randall did a great job.
Hey Matt, since we reached the point in the press conference where we're bringing up all the things Aaron Rodgers said yesterday, I need to ask you about this. At the end of his answer about Christian and whether or not his performance makes him more willing to come back next year, the sentence he said was, "There's got to be mutual desire on both sides." Can you say that if Aaron Rodgers wants to play football next year, that you want him to be your quarterback? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course. So, but you guys know how I feel. Like, I have a hard time looking past the LA Rams right now. So, and obviously this week is going to be great to kind of dig into ourselves and look at the film critically. In every phase and try to challenge our guys in different areas that we can improve. But then the focus will turn to the LA Rams. So that's where my mind is right now. But yeah, absolutely.
So the reason I ask is just when you look at his season, I'm curious to this point through 13 games with all the changes and not having Tay and the injuries he's had, how do you kind of assess the year he's had, and no matter how excited you are about the progress Jordan has made, that doesn't, I assume, change how you feel about him either.
Yeah, I think we've got a great problem in terms of when you have confidence in multiple people. That's, you'd rather have that. And you know, I do think, like, just thinking about expectations, and certainly people expect, we all expect a certain level from him every time, and especially when you're coming off back-to-back MVP seasons. And I think you got to be realistic about the situation too, in terms of you're losing almost your entire receiving core, and there's a lot of new pieces around you, and there's going to be a learning curve to that. And not to make excuses, it is what it is. Like, we always expect and you know, want to play that perfect game each and every time we go out on the field. So you know, I think collectively everybody's got to be better, starting with myself. So I just think you know, expectations are a funny thing to try to manage, and but certainly I think as an offense, I think we are showing improvement over the last few games in terms of just a little bit more consistency. And I still think there's a handful of snaps that, you know, you look back at yesterday and you're like, we should be better there. You know, some missed opportunities where maybe you're not down 19-10 or whatever it was in the fourth quarter. So I just think it's, you know, it's a collective effort with everybody.
Matt, over the last few weeks, we've seen a lot of players across the league speak out against the turf, and guys in your locker room sort of led the discussion on that. From your perspective, what is the risk reward there?
Well, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that, to be truthful. You know, I'm for what our players want, and I do think that it's just like why we like to practice out on the grass. I think it's better for everybody to be on the grass, but you know, there's a lot of factors that go into whether or not somebody has turf or grass.
Hey, Matt, let some of the explosive plays against your defense kind of rear their head again yesterday.
Yeah, no, it was disappointing, certainly. Just the number of explosive plays that we had, and a couple of those, you know, again, if we play disciplined football and we trust the techniques and all that, and, you know, there's going to be times when you get beat, but it's just when you're not doing the right things or somebody messes up and you give up those plays, that's frustrating and that's disappointing. But, you know, like Keisean Nixon had a free run at the quarterback, and now, granted, Justin Fields is a hell of an athlete, hell of a quarterback. He can make you miss. So I don't put that all on Keisean. Like, we need more hats at the ball, and so you can kind of mitigate some of those big plays. Not to say everybody. There's great competition in this league. That's what makes this league so fun to watch, so fun to be a part of. It's just how competitive it is each and every game, and you know, there's some talented players on the other side sometimes. So, but I think it's just getting all 11, making sure that everybody's doing their job to the best of their ability. There's no time. You can't take. You can never relax, whether you're on offense, defense, or on teams. As soon as you relax, you get beat. We got too much evidence of that occurring. So we gotta make sure that everybody's locked in, dialed in, every play to the call, and got to be their best at all times.
Right, you mentioned some of the adjustments that Aaron's had to deal with the wide receiving core, et cetera. As a play caller, you've had to adjust and deal with those too. I know you've been pretty critical of yourself in terms of play calling. You were rough on yourself yesterday for the missed call by the officials affecting you. But do you feel like you're kind of getting into a better place in terms of knowing what you have, knowing what your guys' strengths are, and calling plays that you feel better about? that you're not beating yourself up about?
Yeah, I think so. But I think as a play caller, you always put everything on yourself to dial up the right play versus the right looks. And in reality, I know it's not always going to work out that way. So, but that's one of the things that's in your control. So that's in your control. You're going to be, you better be critical and honest with yourself.
Two more, please.
But yeah, I think we're definitely finding a better rhythm, I would say, on the offensive side of the ball, and it certainly helps the more you know about these guys and try to put them in the right position in how you want to attack a defense.
So Rodgers said that once you told him the first play call you had for the 2-point conversion, he walked away and didn't want to hear any of the other options. Do you have to kind of tier your ideas to make sure you get your best one first in case he's going to bail on you? And do you feel like that was a pretty good play call?
Yeah, no, it was great execution too. Our guys, matter of fact, I thought Chicago did a nice job defending the initial. What we were trying to do is fake the jet sweep with Christian and counter him back quickly out to the flat, just based on what we saw on tape on how they adjusted to things. And we had run, obviously some jet sweeps with them to the single receiver side. But I thought they did a nice job of kind of passing it off. But we call that route that the big dog ran, we call it a drip. And he did a great job just kind of caving in that right side and sneaking out the back door. So I think that's something that we've gotten beat on a couple times this year as well from a defensive standpoint. That's just a tough play, I think, to defend when you're able to have a guy in line showing that he's blocking and just kind of continue on through.